Good evening, race fans. Welcome to week 1 of the Final Fantasy Randomizer Spring Tournament. Tonight we're going to bring you a quick match between one of our newest ducklings, Avos, and a gentleman by the name of KennyStarr, who I don't know a whole lot about, but doing a little research, I see that they are a vanilla runner. I'm here in the booth with Darren, and helping us out on tracking will be MG Weirdo. How are you doing tonight, Darren?
I am doing wonderful. I don't know if anyone else has been paying attention to the spring tournament so far, but it's been a thriller all day. I haven't been able to watch a lot of them, but just hearing the commentary while I was at work was exciting throughout the entire day.
Yeah, there's been a lot of fantastic races today. I managed to catch one as I was going to bed since I work nights. It's a little late for me to stay up in the afternoon.
Yeah, this will be race 5 of the spring tournament so far, and last night was a great run between Gregglypuff and Dark Moon Firelight, and then this morning, the one that just finished up that started at 4 p.m. Eastern was Jazz Raptor and Min the Mage, and Jazz pulled out a come from behind win. He was finishing up his last Fiend dungeon when Min was starting in Topher and still came back to win it. So it's been a really exciting tournament. We're excited to see a lot more things from different runners as we go. And so, I'm excited to see how this one turns out.
Absolutely. I have gone ahead and dropped the flag on our racers. We should see them going any second now. And there they go. Today, our racers did not decide to draft. However, we have similar parties. Looks like Kenny decided to opt out of the White Mage and bring a Thief instead.
So if you had the choice, which would you rather do, Cyrnus? Would you rather do a Fighter Thief red-black or a Fighter rainbow?
I'd take the Thief. I used to be a big White Mage fan when I started, but I've kind of fallen out of love. That said, Life 2 at level 1, but it's white locked, so it's a good White Mage seed.
Do you see that there's wall there as well? I mean, that I might re-roll and drop either the red or the Thief if I were in that position.
Yeah, it's nice to have. I don't know that I'd drop for it or re-roll for it. I would certainly feel bad. I can understand wanting the White Mage. It's a very nice safety net.
With this black magic, I would even think about checking Provoker right away and seeing if there's either a sweeper there or what the white magic is there. Just to see, and then if there's something really good there, although I guess white's available for red mage on everything there, but just to see what's going on. But that's my thoughts.
Yeah, if there's Fade at level 2 or something like that, I could absolutely understand going like white, white, red if you're gonna do that quick check before remake.
And we see Kenny's already up in Temple of Fiends. Avos is taking his time a little bit, kind of, feeling out the seed, taking some imps.
Yeah, try and get a couple levels, probably get some extra spell charges before heading up.
That's an early opal armor in that top chest, so that's either going to be some seed money, or we'll see if Kenny decides to hang on to it until he gets a tail.
Yeah, that could be a while. I could consider selling it depending on how much they offered me for it. If you can trade that in for a gold bracelet or a couple of pro rings or something, it could certainly be worth it to help out this early game.
Yeah, that is for sure.
KennyStarr going right at Garland even without magic, just gonna fight his way through this.
I didn't see if he picked up Sleep or any of those. Sleep 2 wouldn't be a bad spell to throw out here just to try and get Garland not to kill somebody along the way.
Yeah, that's not a bad plan. I'd have probably considered going to Provoco, like you said, and coming back, hopefully with a sweeper. But he seems to be making it through this. Oh, but that fighter goes down.
Avos did pick up Confuse, and it looks like he confused Garland, but Garland was cured right away.
Still, that bought him one turn. Every time that lands, it'll buy him at least one turn.
Yeah, and looks like Garland actually just hit himself, so at least now he's got Garland on his side.
But KennyStarr does manage to take him down. Ends up getting the tail from the king and an herb from the princess. That herb will be handy. That's an extra free turn in herb.
Yeah, if I was Avos and I've only been playing for a month, I would feel pretty good after that Garland fight. I mean, it's not easy, especially when you're pretty new, to have not a whole lot for magic. That Confuse was a big pickup and definitely helped him to work his way through Garland there.
Yeah, that was a great heads-up play by a newer player.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, JLo7. With an early tail like that, I would definitely hang on to the opal armor unless, if I really need to buy an item from the item shop, if it's like a max price floater or something like that, then I would think about selling it, but that early tail really makes that decision a lot harder.
Yeah, at least they know that promotion is on the table as soon as they reach the air. And in the case of Kenny, he'll definitely be looking for that promotion, bringing a thief along the way.
Yeah, that's for sure. Thief is as a second melee, I'm willing to go either way. If I can't find a tail, I'm not going to go searching for it, but it's definitely a lot nicer to have better armor and better weapons for him.
Looks like KennyStarr was electing to go up and visit Matoya before headed over here to Provoca. I don't know that that's the direction I would go without the crystal just yet.
Yeah, I agree, and that's something actually I just learned a few months ago. I'm pretty new to the randomizer myself, but I would always go Matoya first because it was easy 3 chests and it was a quick check, but then if pirates have your crystal, now you gotta go back, so you might as well just go and take out the pirates first and then find out what Matoya has.
Exactly. They always want to try and cut down on any of the double and triple dipping if you can.
And we did find Fire 3 in level 2 and Exit, so that's gonna some really good spells, and I did see that Avos picked up Lock 1, which, you know what, that could come in really handy. I don't know that I typically pick up Lock 1, but it's always a good one to have. We've seen some pretty high evade chaoses and high evade fiends today already, so there's a good chance that they'll find at least one along the way.
Kenny does pick up an Excalibur for his trouble up there. That's one more reason to be happy we have that tail. Absolutely on the Lock 1, though. We do not know if we'll see Lock 2. Maybe it's up there at level 8 and won't be an option. So Lock 1 will certainly get the job done in a pinch.
Yeah. The one thing, if I were Avos there, I would have picked up those silver bracelets for 879. That was a very good check to go back and pick up the loot, because I have done that before, and you're looking for an item and can't figure out where it was, but it's been sitting at the pirates the whole time.
You're not an FFR runner until you've done that. Everyone in the community has done that at some point, I am certain.
Yeah, and so this is pretty good routing. It still don't have the crystal, but with a limited number of checks before you have to go and dive marsh for sure, you might as well check out Matoya and Dwarf Cave before I'm gonna commit to diving into the marsh cave, if only just to get some gold for spells at level 3 and level 4.
Yeah, that marsh cave is not a popular place among many of our runners, so anything we can do to avoid it most days. I didn't see that the first time. There was also a free silver bracelet, so that saves them the price of one of those. They only would have needed to buy one.
Yeah, that would have been a little disappointing if you'd bought two, but still, even selling it, you'd get about 450 gold back because they were just under 900, so I wouldn't be too upset.
Yeah. At only a couple hundred, it's not a huge investment. I certainly wouldn't cry over it. Not like those days when you outfit your whole party with pro rings at like 20,000 a pop, and then the next chest you open spits one.
Yeah, and it looks like KennyStarr did pick up a silver bracelet for his thief, which is a good call because thieves can't use the chain armor like that fighter, and even with that thief in the second spot, he's got a decent chance of getting hit.
Yeah, I tend to put my thieves either in the very front if I do have some sort of bracelet for them, or I'll just stick them in the back if I have a red mage, since that red mage can wear that chain armor, which is just the best bargain in the game, pretty much.
Now, as I understand it, it's that first slot that is the deciding factor of whether you get ambushed or get a first strike, and so that's where the thief. Partially where the thief shines is being in the first shot, but I could be incorrect on that.
No.
So I don't know if
You are absolutely correct on that, which is why if you do have armor for him and, he can take a hit, if you have like an opal bracelet or something, absolutely stick him up there, get all the ambushes you can out of him.
Welcome in, Professor Renderer and the ALTTPR community. We're always glad to have more randomizers coming in and checking out, all the different randomizers that are out there nowadays. It's great to be able to see people supporting all of the different games, which, a lot of retro games have really been brought back in people's eyes through these randomizers.
Yeah, I was really surprised during the reveal show, the sheer amount of cross-randomizer play that we see. A lot of these people may not really be known in the Final Fantasy randomizer community, but in other randomizer communities, they're a staple.
Ooh, early herb turns into a key, so that's quite a few more chests that you can check, and I would definitely be going and checking, like Avos is going to do, check right there in Elfland Castle, and I'd probably boat up to Canaria and Dwarf Cave before I even went into Marsh.
I could agree with that. The key checks are wonderful. None of them are incentivized today, but still they are basically free chests and even a couple of trap tiles.
Rub, Bane, and Brack at level 3 black magic, so if you want some instant kill spells, you've got your choice right there.
And there is life at level 3 as well. It looks like if you didn't bring a white mage, you're not going to be seeing a lot of life magic today.
Yeah, that's going to make life a little bit tougher. And that fade at level 4, I don't remember if that's red mage learnable or not.
I do not believe so. That looked like, I think it was in the second slot.
Yeah, that was second slot, so I don't know. At this point, would you think about re-rolling at 12 minutes in, or would you just go with what you had?
Oh no, I would definitely go with what I have. It's really a matter of comfort. I know some people really don't like running without life or Cure 4, just having access to that ability to bring someone back from the dead, which is why a lot of people do bring that white mage, just to guarantee access.
Yeah, and looks like Kenny is going up to Canaria while Avos is heading off towards either Northwest Castle or maybe off towards the Marsh Cave just to see what's there. So we'll see if there's a canal is up here or a loose key item. Kenny could take a big lead for sure.
Kenny picks up a mage staff for his trouble up here. That'll come in handy with our limited sweepers, and a light axe as well. That'll feel a decent weapon for his knight.
Yeah, that I would feel much more comfortable going into Marsh Cave with 3 people with fire spells and 1 with a harm spell for sure.
Yeah, and it gives that thief something to do with that mage staff, because generally this early, with their limited weapon selection, swinging is not their best bet.
Kenny is skipping over the Dwarf Cave key locked, which is, I mean, there's almost as many chests just in that key locked room as there are in Marsh Cave.
Yeah, there's absolutely a possibility that our canal could be up there. Could also be in Northwest Castle locked, or Toph locked even.
Do you have a preference when you're going into Marsh? I know I like to do top first. I know that at least 2 of those chests, if there's nothing else great on the top side, I can pick them up going down on the bottom side, but I know that some runners like to go and check the bottom side first.
I'm a top first kind of person, just because I'll absolutely reset out of it if it's nothing necessary.
And that's one thing. I know I took quite a bit of time. Oh, there's an early ribbon right away. That's always a good find. But one of the things I spent a day or 2 researching was which marsh chests are all connected. So then you're not checking all the empty chests, but you can skip a couple of rooms because there's quite a few in here that can really throw you for a loop.
Yeah, that chest actually is one of the linked chests as well. Cheesenator mentioning maybe getting that ribbon a few steps early will come in handy, but normally we skip that room because that chest is linked with the one diagonally to the lower right. Which actually has 2 chests in it, so you're still going to be entering that room anyway. But he did pick it up, a good 20 steps, 30 steps earlier.
Yeah, I know I definitely like that double chest room instead of spending the time on that first room.
Yeah, sometimes I still get scared in Lower Marsh that I'm forgetting a chest. That is by far my least well-known room. I always think I'm gonna orphan something.
And Avos knows where the spike tiles are in this room. That's one that always trips me up. I always turn right as soon as I get inside and find a nasty battle that, makes me wonder if I need to reset out of Marsh or not.
KennyStarr finds his canal in Marsh top.
Wow, yeah, that could make a difference. Hopefully Avos will make it out of the bottom here. He's definitely got that ribbon, and hopefully he'll go and save and try to recheck top. I think he tried to go top first and found an encounter he didn't like there.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain he'll check top. I don't see anyone avoiding it at this point, especially when you're already here. But bottom was certainly worth going to as well. There was a lot of valuable treasure down here, mostly that rib.
Welcome into Speed Gaming 2. Thank you for coming on over. Hopefully you guys will enjoy some randomizer action as we are into the 5th race of the Final Fantasy Randomizer Spring Tournament, and Avos and KennyStarr are both duking it out. They're pretty even right now, except Kenny does have the advantage of having found his canal already.
Avos making work of that life spell, already proving itself useful.
And really some pretty decent swords down here in Marsh Cave, so that's going to be very helpful throughout the game. Ice Sword, definitely not what I want to try to finish the game on, but it's possible. It can be done.
Yeah, and at this stage of the game, it's going to be fantastic. It'll basically, make your fighter into quite the fighting machine.
We have a pretty decent set of opal armor, so that tail, if they can find a floater early, you can have a really good night already.
Yeah, opal armor, opal helm, got that excal. Your knight's pretty much good to go once you hit promotion.
Welcome in as well to Speed Gaming Prime. Thank you for coming in. This is Final Fantasy Randomizer, and it's the beginning of our spring tournament, the first week. The seed dungeon will be incentivized today, which means you have to find the Oxyel before you can go and find that incentivized chest, but it makes for some interesting routing throughout the game. So hopefully these two runners will be able to show off all the different routes we can go.
Yeah, there's a very good chance we'll be visiting the mermaids today.
The last race that finished up actually looked like it was going to be a jet seed, but Oxyel was loose in Marsh Cave, and neither one of them had checked it. Or at least I think it was Crown that led to Oxyel. And so about an hour and 45 minutes in, they had to try and dig out of Marsh Cave when they had gotten the floater and the airship at about 15 to 20 minutes in.
Yeah, that's got to be rough. I know a lot of people like to avoid visiting the Onrak continent until they have the Oxyale, which would kind of put a slowdown on your things for a while.
Kenny went and found some red dragons to get the payoff of 9 gold at what would be the Marsh incentive chest, so it's always nice to find a nice tough trap tile just to get 9 gold out of it.
Yeah, and with our primary magic right now just being that Fire 3, red dragons are not the friendliest encounter to see.
So Avos is heading back to town. I don't know that Avos checked Northwest Castle on his way in. I think at this point I would have gone up there just to check what the spike tiles were and to see if there was anything in that chest, because with Fire 3, you might have a decent chance at a grind if you can find, like, mummies or something like that, even if it is the B-side tiles.
I'd certainly have considered it. He may have been running a little low on magic, though. We're still pretty early. I don't think we have a ton of houses sitting in our inventory just yet.
Oh, and Kenny just realized that he doesn't have exit because his red mage is the one that is not standing anymore. Luckily, this marsh has been pretty tame, but you know what? I'd almost rather see a little bit of danger in marsh, because that could entail quite a few dangerous things as we go throughout the rest of the game.
Yeah, I like to see a nice, easy marsh. Marsh is a horrible place to be. If it's dangerous, you're in for a bad day this.
And this was a Danny seed, so there's a good chance that they will find something nasty along the way.
Oh, for sure. There's enough out there in the game. We will see something nasty at some point.
So Avos is retreading some of the territory that KennyStarr has already gone and getting the marsh special of Mage Staff and the Light Axe. We'll see if they head to the key-locked Dwarf's Cave before they head out of the Inner Sea, or else if they're going to wait and check it once they get TNT.
I suspect they'll be waiting. That said, we haven't found either loose item yet, so there's still a lot out there.
Kenny decided to walk right past Elfland rather than bringing his red mage back, and looks like maybe he's going to save some money and do it in Canaria. Ooh, fast is level 5, and it's locked out for the red mage. I believe that's a red wizard learnable spot, though.
At least we've found fast. With just the knight as our primary melee today, we'll definitely be wanting.
Yeah, and it's definitely low enough that you should get 5 charges of it by the time you get into Topher.
Looks like Avos is going to head over to Crescent and pick up that extra free item. JLo pointing out that fast was actually in the warp spot, so even the black mage is going to need to promote before he can pick that.
That spot always trips me up. I can never remember which spots I can learn in Melmond and which ones I can't. Oh, gold and pro rings are both in the armor shop there.
Yeah, fairly cheap golds, but those pro rings are expensive today. Luckily, there's quite a few of them out there in chests.
They are trying to restart the economy there in Melmond, so sometimes you gotta jack the prices up just a little bit on that sort of stuff.
Always price gouging the travelers. Heal 3 and the white magic there in Melmond as well. That's probably one of the better white magic spells to see. Can really save you a lot of time menuing through all those heal potions later on if you have enough charges.
Ooh, Peds with fire too. I was thinking at first that might be a decent fight to check out how strong they are, but I think at this point I'm gonna run if I have the chance.
And paralyze. Wow. Peds are not messing around with low-level parties today.
No, and I'm sure that Avos is wiping some sweat off from his brow after getting away from that fight. I would have been a little nervous there, especially after the long boat over.
Chat calling for the ruby is a possibility.
Yeah, I just reset my stream because I thought I was maybe behind our tracker there with MG Weirdo doing the tracking and throwing me off by calling out Ruby.
But nope, it's that fetch quest as suspected. It could lead to the canoe, the oxyale, the ruby. We're not really sure. Or Possibly none of the above. Progression could be loose down in Earth or something.
Yeah, I know everybody loves to do a rodless earth dive.
It also could be back there in Dwarf Locked that everyone just, we don't need those 8 or so chests.
At least the adamant will point them back in that direction so they can... So I would think they would go and check it right here. There's not a whole lot of other chests really available to you, and I want to avoid Earth as long as I can.
Yeah, now that they have an excuse to visit Dwarf, I'm pretty sure they'll check the chests while they're there. Just want to avoid diving for no reason.
Looks like Avos is going to take these giants for a few times. I think he went in and reset to specifically get them.
It appears you're right. Just looks like he's trying to get a little seed money and a level or two. Meanwhile, KennyStarr is headed to the dwarves and giving us our first peek at what's going to come out of this Adam.
Avos is getting some good use out of the Confuse spell, whether through casting it or that Wizard Staff today. I don't know that I've seen that many Confuses land in a run in a long time.
Ice Shield's a solid pickup for a freebie.
Ooh, Adamant leads the crown, so that'll encourage them to check out all of Northwest Castle and what that has to offer as well.
Yeah, we're on a nice tour of all the fetch quests today.
And I would be okay with a seed like that, at least if I can get my fetches done early. I know that the later incentives are probably going to be pretty quick.
Not a whole lot in the Dwarven Armory. Does pick up a free pro ring for the trouble, though.
Yeah, and as ETEP points out in the chat there, the 5% experience per key item, those fetch quests really bring it up quick, and early on that can make a big difference for your levels at the end of the game.
Yeah, it's nice to get a lot of those fetch quests out of the way early, as you said, specifically for that reason. Everyone's giving you a little bump, and the more the game you have that bump, the higher level you'll be overall generally.
Opal Gauntlet and Silver Armor, we have just about the full Opal set already, and I'll take a Silver Armor any day before promotion.
Back down to Elfland to check out this crown, it looks like. Although, where is KennyStarr going? Okay, he just took the long way. He's going to Elf as well. He may have been thinking that he had the canoe and was trying to drop off at the river system there right by the castle.
And it wouldn't have been a horrible play to go out and sail to that south dock, because there's not a whole lot left in the inner sea. I mean, you could get the TNT, but otherwise there's not a whole lot left to keep you in this inner sea area.
Yeah, as chat points out, it's been a pretty linear seed this far, unless, of course, everything is in Earth and we're just not going there.
And there is the TNT from Astos, so they will be going back to see the dwarves again. And that's where I would have been kicking myself for trying to do the smart play of going to the South Dock and preparing to go to Onrak.
Yeah, it almost feels a little French vanilla, all this back and forth in the inner sea. Next thing you know, the TNT will turn into a crystal.
Yeah, and that would definitely ramp up their experience by quite a bit, because they've done pretty much every fetch quest you can do on this inner sea. It still amazes me every time that you can kill Astos in one turn, because having played the vanilla game, it was always a scary fight running into it, and granted, you never had Fire 3 when you got here.
No, you certainly didn't. We're picking up some mana cores here in the spike tiles. Not a great tile, but we'll see what's in the other. Ooh, a bunch of earths. Yeah, looks like we're going to go back to the mana core tile, maybe take a level or two off of it. Kenny turning in that TNT and picking himself up a ruby for his troubles. That is a nice find. That'll get us 2 free incentive checks, basically.
Yep, a little bit more fetch for you.
That's one of the... We haven't done a whole lot of these before this tournament where we're really incentivizing the Titan's Tunnel, but the early rubies have been really nice in all my spring tournament seeds. Just getting that bonus of 2 free items out of it if you get it early is really nice.
Yeah, I really like that Titan's Tunnel. It makes the ruby really important because you at least have an incentive there. Plus, by moving the Titan over, it makes it a little bit harder to check those chests unless you you can't check the chests unless you have that ruby.
Gloomchew calling for a crystal over here so that we can sail right on back. Let's see what it is.
And that is a nice move by KennyStarr to exit out of the Titan's Tunnel on the left side there and then come back in, because then you can use the exit spell to go right out and check Sarda after this. Opal bracelet and the dragon armor there, so we have full armor for our knight. We can go to an armor shop and see which one sells for more.
I wouldn't even check. I would just ditch the opal armor. I'm always going to wear the dragon for the added protection.
And there's our canoe, so that opens up quite a bit. They now have waterfall open to them. They have the ordeals, and they can get to Volcano or the ice cave.
Yeah, what is your preference in a situation like this? Are you a volcano ice cave person, or are you a waterfall or deals person?
I think I would probably do ordeals. I would go to, and I don't know if I would do waterfall right away. I would go to ordeals and see what comes out of there, and then I might go to volcano and ice, but at least you can route, going down to ordeals on the way over to volcano if you just take a slightly longer way.
Yeah, I usually like the ordeals play myself, assuming I have a house or two to get my charges back, because sometimes getting out of there can be a real questionable thing.
Yeah, and Avos with that little grind might have the levels where waterfall is a decent check with having exit. They don't have warp yet, so it might be, a little bit of a deterrent for going to ordeals, because it's always nice to be able to go back a pillar once you pick the wrong one.
We still haven't seen a whole lot of deadly enemies out there. Most threatening thing we've seen is probably those peeds, so I don't know. I don't like ice. I don't like sailing that river system on my canoe if I can help it.
Yeah, it could be some nasty Caribs in there, or Hydras. I'm always afraid of Hydras, so I don't want to see those ever.
KennyStarr's not afraid to make the play, though. Which is he going to go to, you think? Ice or Volcano today?
Looks like he's going Volcano. I think that's where I would go too. I always liked Ice first in vanilla, but with the armory right there, there's a good chance that you'll find something that's useful. And they have quite a few good things, but you're still looking for two loose, and there's just a lot of chests right on that first or second floor of Volcano.
Yeah, the armory is always a nice place to get out of the way. Lots of free loot there usually. Ava's following behind just a little bit, but got those levels to make up for it. We'll see if they pay off and help him catch up.
Oh, there's a free gold bracelet. That saves 20,000 gold.
Yeah, and with him already having that opal bracelet, that might be the only other bracelet he needs.
Decent armor in the armory and a coral sword, and I always love seeing an eye grind, especially at an easy to access spot.
Yeah, gold bracelet and a pro ring, so armory was fairly stuffed. Get one person outfitted defensively, and this eye grind is, well, it's definitely going to be better than that mana core grind we saw.
Yeah, those fire 3s will make quick work, and having a coral sword for that thief, at least you can do some damage there if you want, and you got quite a few options to try and fight these eyes and take them out.
Yeah, if he has a house on him, I would absolutely not be surprised to see him just burn out his charges, exit out, and house up before dying.
Arachnids are unrunnable. Hopefully they don't have anything nasty over on Avos' screen. I still have PTSD from the Duckling Derby when Arachnids had Blaze and were unrunnable.
Yeah, we all got a lot of entertainment out of those Blaze Arachnids, at least those of us not running the sea. It appears today the Arachnids are the ones burning to the crisp, though.
Oh, looks like Kenny's not gonna go back in and fight some more eyes, so he's pretty happy with the levels he's got.
Yeah, he's got his base levels. Don't want to level too far just yet. We're still wanting to promote and hopefully get a couple magic charges on those Thief and Knight. Chat pointing out that he neglected to check the northern side of that floor and the hairpins and basically anything other than the armory itself.
That floor can definitely eat up some time, but I always like to, check it right away, otherwise I would probably forget it.
Yeah, we're pretty sure he'll go back for that. Like you said, they are some more time-intensive checks. So just grabbing these easy chests first, but we're still looking for 2 loose, so there's a pretty certainty that we will be back there.
Looks like Avos is going to follow suit and go to Volcano as well, so pretty much so far they've been pretty lockstep, going the same directions. Avos stopped for that grind a little bit longer with the Manticores, and Kenny decided to wait and found the eyes here in Volcano, but otherwise they've been pretty much right together.
That ice armor was a real nice pickup for Kenny as well. Right now, his knight can make wonderful use of it, and as soon as he promotes, that can be moved over to the ninja while his dragon is worn by the knight.
Avos is doing a fairly good job of manipulating encounters. I know at 1 month in, I had no idea what reset or power did, so gotta give him some credit. He's been putting some work in and learning some of the intricacies of the Final Fantasy randomizer.
Yeah, there's still a lot of days that I just can't bring up the effort it takes to actually manipulate encounters, but it's a really good skill to have, so I'm happy to see him using it.
Yeah, as MG Weirdo points out, Kenny is skipping that, what would be the incentivized fire tile if Volcano were incentivized this week, and that's one that you definitely don't want to be your loose item if you have to try and come back and walk all your way through just to get down to that one chest.
Looks like we're going to be using some Bane strats here.
Ooh, and Carrie hits back with ink right away. That's not too bad to see first turn. And there it was. There was a Bane on carry, so that always feels really good to get an instant kill on one of the fiends. It's a little bit more of a risky play, but he's got decent levels, and nice to be able to use that Bane and just push carry aside.
Always happy to see those instant kills. It's apparently that's a fairly low chance, so chat was real happy to see that.
Mucks of heal 3, so that can definitely eat up some time if you run into them quite a bit down here. Looks like Kenny might have an aversion to the river system as well. He went and boated all the way up to get to the ice cave there.
It's very possible he may not be familiar with some of our open progression and not realize that the river system is actually connected on a lot of our seeds. Or as they say, maybe he's coming up here to provoke or to pick up some, pick up some houses, some heals, and I think this was where our armor was? No, our armory was in Melmond with our gold Cheerios and pro rings. So it looks like this is just a heal potion and house stop.
And Avos looks like he's gonna take some fights with these eyes as well, and try and get a couple more levels. Looks like he confused the eyes as well, because the eye just hit itself for 11 damage.
Yeah, that eye EXP is really hard to resist. I mean, if I see it, I'm gonna take it at least a couple times, almost every time. Without pointing out something that I mentioned at the start, that Kenny's a real strong vanilla runner that runs a lot of really strange parties like solo thief strats and 4-fighter strats. So it definitely is a case that our map edits may be tripping him up a little bit and he not realize that the river system is connected.
Yeah, that does make sense. It's definitely a whole nother... Even just the little edits that there are make a whole big difference in terms of where you can go and how fast you can get there. And I don't think that I knew that Dragon Sword and Coral Sword had the same stats, so nice to learn that from Avos, taking the time to check statuses there. I think I would have just put the Coral Sword on right away if it were me, but that's because I've always thought it was stronger.
Yeah, I can't say I really knew beforehand which one was stronger either. I'd be inclined to just equip the first one I found and ignore the second one just because I assume that they're close enough.
Yeah, you know what? And you could see a lot of eye tiles this tournament, especially if you can find these nice 3 eyes. So maybe we'll have some eye facts and maybe learn a little bit about the optical system for Final Fantasy.
Unfortunately, we don't have warp today, so we're going to be doing at least one loop of this ice. It will be interesting to see if orphaning those chests in Volcano comes back to bite Kenny, though. I imagine Avos will give us a peek at them and let us know what we have in store.
Yeah, Avos has already checked all of the chests outside of Armory there. I didn't see anything spectacular.
Ooh, and we have a defense sword in the bottom of ice. Always a wonderful pickup. That'll help a lot, especially since I don't think he has access to Invis 2.
And Opal Shield completes our Opal set. Now we just need to find the floater to be able to promote our fighter into a knight, and you've got a pretty good set of armor already. Wow, the Peds are just nasty all over in this seed. Regular Peds at fire 2, Gur Peds have lightning 2, so they just have some nasty elemental magic to try and knock you out with.
At least they're runnable. I know those Gurpedes tend to roll a lot of HP most of the time. Overall, Ice Cave not proving itself very dangerous, though. Where is all the danger going to be today?
Yeah, I think I'd be a little worried about what's coming up in Sky or in Sea Shrine if there's not been too much dangerous yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen damage poison, a whole lot of instant death spells. Something's got to be somewhere. And we still only have one ring.
And there's the slab in Ice Cave, so you can go turn it in Melmon, but still, it's not going to help you until you find the floater. So it's got to be Waterfall or Ordeals. I think that's the incentives, or it could be loose.
Yeah, we're looking at Waterfall, Ordeals, Earth, or maybe this red D chest down at the bottom of Volcano that got orphaned.
Yeah, as Cheesenator points out, Kenny is a full dungeon ahead. Now, if this and the normal incentivized fire chest is something important, he could be behind, because I don't think he'll be back to check it for quite a while.
No, I can't imagine him coming back until it's the last option available. So we've seen our Sahags have cremate.
Avos is gonna keep going with 2 characters. I didn't see if he's used up all of his life charges yet, but I was wondering if he was just leaving the Black Mage down at 1 HP so that he could save some heals once he finally died, or...
Yeah, I'm a little curious how that's gonna work. Maybe he's just looking to get a little extra experience on the way out here, and then we'll life him up before care.
And Kenny has gone to check out ordeals. He's working his way through the pillar maze right now.
Avos going with those confused strats again. No surprise there. He's been a big fan of that confused spell.
And it looks like Kenny knows about the linked chest here in ordeals. That one took me forever to find out. I could never figure out why I always had an empty chest on the second floor here of ordeals, and everybody else had something in that chest.
Ooh, finds a nice pack of sandworms here on this spike tile. That's another valid grind. There's been a lot of decent tiles.
Yeah, the unrunnable makes it a bit scary. I don't know how long I would stick around for them, but any nice, easy sandworms is never a bad play for a grind if you need one.
Yeah, with that eye tile being readily available, I'm sure he won't be grinding it today, but, you know, in a pinch, it'll do. This is also not the place I'd want to see it, however.
Yeah, that's true. And another ribbon, that'll go a long way to helping make Topher a lot safer.
Yeah, the equipment's been really good today, but we're still looking for those 2 loose items, so we can't stop opening chests yet. Poor Carrie, baned again. Carrie's just not having a good day today. She's failing all of her savings throws.
I think I saw Avos accidentally changing the response rate to 1. Hopefully he didn't, but we'll find out. Looks like right there, that's the one thing about manipulating encounters, is if you get that response rate 1, I would be resetting right now.
Yeah, I'm sure he will as soon as he catches wind. I'm sure he'll see it.
Yeah, it looks like ordeals led to Oxyel, so that does open up on-rack. Flutter could be in sea, or it could be in the waterfall.
And there's still that earth play, or, hey, even Toph lock.
Yeah, that is true.
That'll be a nice feels bad if it's in Toph locked and just been available to him all this time.
Looks like Kenny is going up. He might be doing the earth play. Oh no, maybe I just was lost on my map. He sailed a bit further south than I had thought.
Yeah, chat pointing out that Kenny's fights and menuing is just a little bit faster, and that's something that definitely transfers over from the vanilla game.
Yeah, it's amazing how much time you can spend menuing until you really get it down and can recognize right where those heals are and where everything else is in that menu.
Yeah, one of our newer flags that we're not running in this tournament actually resorts your inventory so that those heals are always the first item. And that's one of the biggest arguments against using it, is that your inventory manipulation is just such a major part of your running speed that to trivialize it kind of takes a lot away from the game.
And as MG Weirdo points out, that is an encounter 8, so Spring Tournament 2020, more dragons.
Encounter 8, another thing we recently fixed. For a long time they weren't quite working right for us, but now we're getting all the dragons all the time.
Yeah, I think you're right, MG Weirdo. I believe Meridian is the one who fixed that, as well as the many other things that Meridian and the wonderful developers have done for creating this randomizer and making it, as fast of a game as it is compared to the vanilla Final Fantasy 1.
Yeah, the speed hacks are amazing. I've tried playing with them off once or twice, and I just can't sit through the slow animations anymore.
Now, with the proc gen waterfall, have you ever walked in and thought you were in a procedurally generated waterfall just to find out that you're wandering around a vanilla waterfall?
I have absolutely made that mistake. When I first joined the community, Proc Gen Waterfall was fairly low and we were running it all the time. So when I first saw the vanilla waterfall, I had no idea what it was.
Yeah, I've gotten lost in waterfall after doing quite a few procedurally generated and then realized that I was doing a vanilla, and it is nice to see the vanilla here because sometimes you can get really short waterfalls or really long waterfalls with procedurally generated. At least here you know what it is, and it's one less randomness in a very random randomizer as it goes.
Avos being very thorough in his chest checks. It's usually a good thing, but it has not yet paid off to.
Kenny finds a loose chime in the waterfall. So that's and a Vorpal and cube there, so I don't know about you, but right now he's probably thinking sky, sky, sky.
Yeah, the only thing we're missing right now is the rod from being in go mode.
Yeah, he can go hit Sea Shrine and hopefully on the Mermaid's floor. I would probably jet right to Mermaid's floor and Sea Shrine and see if that's the rod right there.
Oh, for sure.
And it could be a floaterless seed, really.
Yeah, no, we are still absolutely on track to possibly have a floaterless seed.
It'll be interesting to see how both runners handle that. I know that Kenny's done a lot of vanilla where you need to have the floater, and Avos being pretty new to the randomizer, I don't know if either one would have done a floaterless seed. Kenny's probably more likely than Avos to have seen a floaterless one.
Yeah, I know at least one of Kenny's runs that he does is a solo thief that doesn't promote. So I'm sure he's familiar with what it takes to do that. You're not going to be leveling that high in this run.
I may need to go look that one up because that sounds pretty amazing and scary.
And long. I'm pretty sure it ends in Banesword strats, but I could be wrong.
Wow. Yeah, that's quite the dedication to Final Fantasy.
We're not talking to any of the fish ladies today. We do not have time for that, apparently.
And there's the bottle, so the floater is either the floater or the crystal, which would lead to the floater, would be loose somewhere.
Yep, the question is, now does he want to do sky or does he want to do earth?
Yeah, unless he gets really lucky and it's on the Kraken side of Sea Shrine here. And also, does he go back to Volcano and worry about whether Avos has been in the air for a little while?
I also believe he went straight to mermaids. He didn't check the chests on the floor before it.
Yeah, I think you're right. I had looked away for a second and he was already there, so I definitely wouldn't have checked TFC or the far upper chest all the way in the way beyond of that floor.
I'll definitely be noting that down for my personal notes if I play him later to know that he is a gambling man.
Yeah, and it looks like he may not even be checking all of the chests on the way down to Kraken, so he might be gambling on it being greater than less than, or somewhere in, Mirage 1, possibly.
And apparently we found the power bonk here in a free chest on the way to Kraken, so that is all of our loose items.
Oh, okay, yeah, I missed that power bunk. So what is it that we haven't turned in then? Oh, MG Weirdo, yes, the vendor item would be out there, and I wonder, I don't know if they checked the item shop in Onrak, but it might be a caravan item.
Yeah, I don't think either one checked the caravan. That's a pretty big miss.
Yeah, and that could be, what, Rod is still out there, so you do need to get Rod before you can finish all that up.
It's a really easy miss, though. I know I've certainly missed it in a lot of seeds if it's over at that caravan. It's one of those things you usually only miss once, though, because once you've done it, you kind of always think back to it and remember that time that you missed it and spent all this time wandering around wondering where your progression was.
Yeah, and that is an easy one to forget, being kind of out of the way. Kenny obviously would would definitely know about it, and I'd imagine Avos would know about the caravan as well. But like you say, it's easy to forget because most of the time you don't even need to check the caravan because you've already found that item. Looks like Kenny is going into Kraken with 2 fighters.
Going for more of these Bane strats while his knight pumps up the defense, gets some evasion.
Kraken's not too scary there, so he's gonna start doing some power bonks to try and buff up the fighter and hit a little bit harder as well.
And Kraken punches out the red mage. That totally brings an end to our Bane strat.
Three hits for 375. That, ooh, and sleep touch. That could be that's very scary. That's a wonderful time to get a critical hit there as Kenny dispenses with the Kraken with just his fighter alive. And so now Kenny has the advantage of the water orb and the fire orb, where Avos just has the fire orb. We'll see if he remembers the caravan here on his way out of the continent.
Yeah, as long as he picks it up before. Yep, and he... No, what's he thinking?
I think he was thinking he had Crystal. Looks like he's it was on his way to Matoya's, possibly.
Yeah, looks like he's doing a quick check of his key items, trying to figure out what he's missing.
So at an hour and 16 minutes in, are you starting to get nervous that you missed something along the way and haven't found your floater, and maybe your opponent's been in the air for a while? Or are you looking at the seed going, everything's been rather linear, so, you know, I think I'm still alright.
I mean, I've found my loose, so at this point, I'm certainly wondering what I'm missing. Thankfully, as viewers now, we basically know what we're missing, although we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, and Kenny looks like he is going to go into Earth without his rod. I don't know if maybe he isn't sure exactly how many loose are out there either.
That's very possible. I'm sure he probably knows there's 2 loose, but he may not realize that the opal was one of them.
Oh, yeah, with power
I'm sorry,
bomb
not the opal, the power bomb.
That is a good point. That one is pretty easy to miss. And Avos picks up the chime and the cube. Good to see he didn't exit before checking these chests.
Yeah, Avos is a bit behind, but if he goes and does Sea and Kraken now and checks that Oasis shop on his way out, that may be enough to catch him back up.
Yeah, and as you say, Kenny is probably pretty comfortable with Temple of Fiends, so if Avos does make that play, it'll definitely go a long way. Kenny's got a good chance of having a comeback run, but with extra knowledge, but Avos could have a pretty big time lead.
And Kenny still appears to be orphaning a lot of these chests, so I don't know. Maybe he thinks it's Earth Week and this chest down here behind the vampire will be incentivized?
That is a good question. He definitely skipped the better trap treasure one there. There isn't a whole lot of gear that you would really be looking for. You've got a full knight set of armor. You've got your X-Cal. Massa would be nice, but X-Cal and Vorpal is going to get you anywhere you want to go.
Yeah, at this rate, we've had our gear for a while pretty much. I think we've been pretty happy with it. He could also probably use a katana, but it's really that key items that we're looking for. We want that progression. Vampire has nothing for us but a pure potion. I feel bad for him. I've been here myself, so I know how this can go. I hope he doesn't end up, rediving Volcano for the red D chest and stuff. I hope he realizes that shop's up there.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. It's real easy to lose track of one item or one place that you haven't been, and I think we've all been there, as you say. You're not a real randomizer runner until you've walked away from the pirates, and you're also not a randomizer runner if you haven't gotten confused somewhere along the way.
That's a good question, Jazz Raptor. I'll be honest, I have not looked that closely at the flags, even though I've run a lot of practice seeds. I don't know if we have that flag on or not.
I did just pull up the Swiss flags off from the randomizer site, and that is not on, so good catch there, Jazz Raptor. I guess I've just always assumed that it was on.
Kenny finds one of those tasty blue steaks.
Avos did find the katana, which for him is just extra money and a seed where you've got more than enough money.
Kenny gonna go run Sky? I can't say I blame him. At the very least, this is an orb. He does know he needs to do it, and he does have both the chime and the cube, so it is available to him.
Yeah, and it looks like he's just running right through, so he probably does know that he's not missing any loose items, just has to remember where he's gotta get that vendor item from. MG Weirdo pointing out that the Bane sword was down there, so we could see some more Banes coming out, because now they're completely free.
More Bane strats.
thank you again to MG Weirdo for tracking tonight and keeping the records so we can, at least I can look like I know what I'm doing sometimes while commentating.
No, absolutely. Thank you to all of our tireless trackers out there. You certainly do a lot to make commentary easier for all of us.
And 9 gold out of TFC, which is, you know, better than the vanilla game, but not by a whole lot.
What's in there in the vanilla game?
I believe that's one of the 2 gold treasure chests.
Fantastic. And locked behind a key. Not that you would ever know it if you only play the vanilla game.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the things that amazed me, is when we found out just how many things are locked behind keys in this game, well after you'd have to have the key.
Yeah, there's been a bit of speculation in the community how that actually happened. Like, maybe they made the dungeons before they routed the story and stuff like that. Who knows? Maybe there was a time early in the Final Fantasy development cycle when, you know, you had to buy keys like it was Dragon Warrior or something.
And I didn't see, I believe, Kenny either reset out after greater than less than, or use the exit spell. And it's now checking the bottom of Mirage to see what's down there.
Avos finds that power bonk, so now should hopefully be in no mode that he needs to find a shop item somewhere. Doing that nice double take of his items, always good to get a clue as to where exactly you are and what you need.
Yeah, it does look like Kenny may have gotten to response rate 1, or else something's definitely slow there.
Yeah, the game itself almost feels slow, not just the response rate. That was my thought as well, Cheesenator. Like, maybe he bumped his slow motion button by accident.
Yeah, I know one thing that I have done is gotten rid of pretty much every shortcut except for reset and power.
It appears he's fixed it, though.
Excellent. Yeah, that's always good to see. It would be horrible to see someone lose just because their game slowed down and maybe they didn't notice it or know how to fix it.
Yeah, those are keys you should probably definitely want to be turning off on your emulator. If you accidentally hit the other one and are going super fast all of a sudden, that's probably grounds for a disqualification.
Yeah, I think that would be for sure, you know, and it might be based on how long it took you to fix it, but anything, you know, anything that would make a significant difference would definitely be grounds for disqualification, I would think.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's probably just generally safer for all you runners out there that you might want to disable those keys. Especially since, I mean, he seemed to figure it out, but I know I have no idea what half the keys on my hotkeys did before I unbound them.
Yeah, I know that the period used to show like a frame rate thing, so when you went to put .done or, you know, .forfeit, as I had done a few times in some early races, you would all of a sudden show your frame rate on screen and on the stream.
Yeah, I've done similar where my timer is actually tied to my num key, and I've gone to enter my time for an async and accidentally erased my time by pressing one of the number keys.
Yeah, I've definitely been there as well. Looks like Kenny, I believe he only checked the bottom rooms on that Sky 3 on the spider floor, and now he's gonna go and check all the rooms here.
Chat asking for Bane strats on this Kraken, but we're seeing a bit of Lightning 3 and Fade. And he just goes down to damage. We're not going to get a Baned Kraken today.
Looks like Avos is going to check the caravan, so that could put him pretty far ahead if it is where we're thinking it was and didn't just miss a different item shop along the way.
Yeah, this could turn out to be pretty clutch. And there it is, a floater for 17,500.
Money being no object is really nice, because that is not the place where you want to try and fight for some money, because you'll inevitably run into ankylos and low gold enemies all over the place here.
Yeah, with that sudden flip, I do believe Avos I would consider to be in the lead at this point. That's a major turn of events.
Yeah, Kenny has, he's pretty well far through the air castle, but even so, I think they're pretty even on levels, and Avos is going to be in the air shortly, so. Oh, and MG Weirdo's pointing out he does have a lead on levels as well as a life caster, as Cheesenator said, so yeah, that's a pretty big advantage going forward.
Yeah, that life caster can prove extremely valuable in Topher.
Now, I believe it would have been faster to go north out of Onrak, but maybe that's just my preference. I don't know exactly what the time difference is in traveling there.
Nor do I, but I'm a north out of Onrak person myself as well, so I'll go with that.
Looks like Kenny is a right-up type of person, and we'll see if he can find a robot chicken here on the Bridge of Destiny.
There's our praise RNGs. I was about to question whether y'all even wanted a robot chicken. Translates that slab. We'll get a real quick bottle and slab turn in. Ooh, there was a robot chicken for a split second there, but it looked like he ran away from it.
Yeah, that was about as quick as you can see that Warmac 4 and get away. I think in Kenny's spot I would be doing the same thing. I'd be panicking, trying to figure out what I forgot, and not even want to fight a Warmac at that point. That's a really good move from Avos as well. Can't tell you how many times I've gone and promoted and forgotten that I could change my gear around, and so I was still walking around with my chain armor until, after a wipe or two.
Looks like he elects to wear that opal armor rather than the dragon armor. If he has a ribbon on his head, it really doesn't matter, though. I didn't see if he was wearing the ribbon or the opal helm.
He did leave the ribbon on, so that... But dragon... Now that protects against poison, is that correct?
No, it's the Aegis shield that offers the poison resist. Dragon is strictly elemental, lightning, ice, and fire.
Oh, okay, that's right. Oh, Avos goes and finds Temper at level 8. That's definitely a good check.
He may get a few charges of that in there. Probably not a lot, but thankfully we have the power bomb.
It'll be interesting to see if Avos goes back to Volcano and decides to fight some eyes and get a couple levels, or what he's going to do going forward. He does still have Sky Castles. You can do a pretty good walking grind through there.
And there's the rod, so he doesn't even have to go turn in this tablet. It probably is just going to yield I'm guessing a crystal that would turn into the Thor hammer at this point.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's all that's left, so looks like Avos realizes that as well, and he's just going to run right up to Sky Castle, and we'll see if he even checks any chests along the way.
I can't imagine he does at this point. The only things out there is one more ribbon and that masa.
And Kenny is back in Sky Castle checking chests, so he's going to be quite a ways behind right now and kicking himself for that caravan.
It's unfortunate. It's full panic mode at this point. We've all been there. Just hopefully he realizes it sooner rather than later.
I'm really impressed by Avos for having played the randomizer for a month. It being in go mode in an hour and a half, and what's been a pretty linear seed, and really has kept us cool. Ran into the same troubles of not thinking of the vendor item until it was the very last thing, and has really been doing a pretty good job throughout this.
Yeah, I mean, he picked it up without leaving that continent, so I mean, it's not real. It's just happened to be the last place he checked. Kenny is in Sky because he is looking for, well, essentially anything that will lead him to the floater, which he missed at the Oasis spin.
Avos is going to take another fight with the Manticores. He already knows this is a pretty easy fight.
Yeah, he's been fighting these guys since he was sub 10. These guys don't even stand a chance against. Maybe Avos will give us a robot chicken kill today. We'll see if he runs away when he finds him, if he finds him.
And I like Avos' style in the maze there. I'm always a left-up guy myself.
Me too. There's not enough of us out there.
Oh, and it looks like Kenny is going to the southern continent, so he might be going to check Volcano.
just using all this free magic to take out these Bridge of Destiny fights. We got black shirts going off. We got mage sticks going off. It's all free here.
And there is the war mech. We'll see if Avos decides to take the fight.
It does appear he's considering it. He has not yet gone back to buy fast, unfortunately. So that's going to certainly slow things down. But we'll see if we can nuke our way.
Looked like he had 6 charges of Fade, so that's not too bad. Warmech coming out with Ice too. I don't mind seeing that first round out of a Warmech, and hopefully he'll keep doing low stuff.
Yeah, either low stuff or punches on that defensed up knight.
And he missed on the fighter that I believe he used the defense sword once, so a couple evasion stacks there, but nothing overboard. Stop comes out and stuns the red wizard, so not too horrible of a loss there. And looks like Warmech was pretty low on health. Everybody's going to get a level or so out of that.
Yep, and we end up right around level 25, which is a pretty solid level for a Topher dive.
And Avos has won the hearts and minds of the chat here as taking on the Warmech and taking him down.
Can we get some Bane strats here? Please, please, Bane us a Tiamat. I'm pretty sure Avos does have the bonk. Unless, I saw him open the chest. He's there saying he didn't see it when he was on his equipment screen just a second ago.
Yeah, I know he took the pro ring off and put it back on to his knight, so he either may have dropped it or maybe he didn't pick that one up.
Yeah, he may have been so distracted that, he found the second loose and immediately opened his inventory screen to see, what he was missing from his go mode, that he forgot to actually change up his equipment and pick up that power bonk.
Yeah, and Kenny looks like he's diving down, checking all the Volcano, so he's going to be working his way all the way down with not having checked on Carrie's floor before.
Yeah, sure enough, no power bonk there in the inventory. Kind of curious if he goes back for it. I guess it would depend on if he feels behind and feels he really needs it, whether or not he goes back for it with his airship.
Yeah, and now deciding to also put on dragon armor, so he's got the extra resistances from that, so that was a good call.
Resistances on top of his pretty ribbon resistances, which is already everything.
Going back and picking up some Invis too, and maybe going to be, I wonder if he'll go and fill out magic for his knight and get, I think, life 2 probably, I don't think Life 2 was learnable by the knight, but I think there was Ruse at first level, which could be useful. You could maybe put the defense on someone else if you wanted.
Unfortunately, Life 2 was white lock. Does come over here and pick up fast, though, so that'll definitely come in handy.
Heal 3 could save quite a few heal potions as well, so that's a good pickup.
Yeah, if your party's hurt, that heal 3 will save you a lot of time taking those individual potions to everybody.
Oh, and MG Weirdo has just let me know that Ruse is level 4, so that isn't knight learnable. Thank you, MG Weirdo. I'm glad that you're tracking magic a lot better than I am.
Earth Cave is going to be a real quick dive for us. I don't suspect we'll be opening any chests or really hitting anything other than a couple speed bumps.
You have to really feel for Kenny at this point. I think he's scrambling, looking everywhere, trying to figure out where he hasn't been yet.
Chat, making sure to chime in on Earth Cave routing. A lot of these floors have various routes with slightly different step counts and slightly different bat RNG. Everyone has their preferences of which path they.
Yeah, I think it's discounting bats. I think it's about 5 to 10 steps difference between the 3 routes on the next floor that Avos will see here on Earthcave.
Yeah, here on the next floor I usually go mid, but it's the one with bad RNG. I believe bottom is a couple of steps longer, and top is the one you really don't want to take.
And Avos using that rod to make his way down deeper into Earth as KennyStarr is frantically checking the first floor. Ooh, and it looks like Kenny might be in full-on panic mode. He forgot to save outside of Earth and reset to try and save a few steps and realized that his last save was at the Melmond Inn.
Here's our Lich. How many hits does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Lichy Pop? And the classic answer is 3, as always. 1 fade, 1 fire 3, and a couple of smacks from that nut.
Yeah, and Avos looks like he might be heading right up to Temple of Fiends, not even needing to refill on heal potions or anything. Oh, and he's gonna drop his tents and cabins and move heals into a nice spot. That's a really good move.
Yeah, that's a great move from a newer player. A lot of people don't pick up on that for a while. it's not such a bad thing that he didn't pick up more heals. He is the one with a white mage, so at least he does have that heal 3 in life and various other things to help keep his health a little bit higher.
Yeah, and as Kenny's checking chests and Avos is making his way into the Temple of Fiends, it's probably a good time to point out the Duckling program. If anyone's interested in the randomizer, please feel free to join the Discord. Go to FinalFantasyRandomizer.com and you can get the Discord link from there. And actually, Greggly Puff shows up in chat just as we're talking about the Duckling program, and Greggly does a good job of leading the Duckling program and putting out seeds that'll, help you to learn a little bit about the randomizer, and he's always there to answer questions as well as quite a few other people. I see Cheesenator's in chat, and Cheesenator actually just did a Temple of Fiends boss tutorial video to help people as they're going in and make some adjustments as you go through Temple of Fiends and possibly doing redives.
Yeah, we'll be seeing if any redives are called for today. These fiends, you never know. Bosses are not clamped in this, so they can all be pushovers, or you could have some real threats down here.
And as you said, Cyrnus, a lot of people jumped into this tournament without having done a lot of the Final Fantasy Randomizer. It is the biggest field that we've ever had, with 74 runners, which means 37 races every week for... This is the first of 6 weeks of Swiss flags, so there's going to be a lot of Final Fantasy Randomizer coming your way, and these runners will only get better as we go throughout the tournament. Kenny's, really the only mistakes that he's made are randomizer-specific ones, as we know that he's done a lot of vanilla Final Fantasy runs and a lot of, very hard, like you said, Thief, no promotion runs.
Yeah, he had built up a solid lead prior to that point. It looked like he might run away with it up until that.
Avos is coming up against Lich. Looks like he's making some decisions. I think he used the opal bracelet there with his white wizard because he had nothing better to do, and it's quicker than fighting it. He could have just used the wait command as well, but he was already in the item menu debating, so might as well just use that opal bracelet.
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to conserve his fades or whatever else might be in that same slot with fade. I don't blame him. Lich is a pushover, typically almost always goes down easy without needing to really blow a lot of charges on. While Avos was taking on Lich, I saw KennyStarr checking out his item inventory again. He appears to be sailing around now. I think he might have realized what happened.
Yeah, I believe you are correct, because it looks like he's going to that Onrak dock, so he's going to find it. And you know what? With KennyStarr's mechanical proficiency, he could be very scary in the next coming weeks as he irons out the little differences in the randomizer.
Our tracker pointing out that Sea Shrine is also where the last of the chests he left behind are, so it looks like he might be headed there now that he's checked this item.
And Avos is up against Carry 2 here, taking his time, which is, a very good idea, especially as you're learning these Temple of Fiends bosses.
He's still happy to give us these Bane strats. I'd love to see a couple of these Topher fiends get taken down by some Banes or some K.
Yeah, and it does look like KennyStarr is going to go and check the chest that he skipped on Sea Shrine, so unfortunately he's going to find out that there's not a whole lot down there. As Avos takes out Carrie and is moving on to the water floor, we'll see here especially hugging the walls can save you an encounter, possibly one right at the end of the game before Chaos, which we've seen Iron Gulls before that have killed people right after Tiamat.
Yeah, it does appear he is not saving those steps. He is not hugging the wall. And this floor has, I would certainly say, the worst encounters in Topher. If there's one floor I don't want to take extra encounters, it's this one.
Yeah, and even throwing in a couple of extra steps there just to, show off a little bit.
Victory laps are important. They manipulate the RNG in your favor. I swear it's true.
Oh, and Arsahags had Cremate and Thunder, so Kenny is running up against the wall with the Wizzahag, Arsahag unrunnable pack in Sea Shrine.
Yeah, we only saw the Cremate earlier. Having Thunder right behind it, that is ugly.
Avos not going to move his party around going in, so I do recommend Choosinator's video when you get done with this, Avos, if you're watching your run back, and he does go through a little bit of, ideas behind why you want to move your members around and where you want to put them.
Yeah, Kraken doesn't look overly punishing today. It hit that red mage for like the high 400s, so probably would have hit less on the knight. And he already has 3 stacks of evasion on that knight, 4 now, so he should be good to go.
Yeah, as MG Weirdo is pointing out, we did see earlier today, especially in the Jazz Raptor and Min the Mage race, that the party position played a really important role.
Ooh, does take a nice hit on that white mage, unfortunately. Hopefully he makes it out of here alive, because he definitely keeps that life available.
Kraken with Nuke is scary, but at least you know it's not on Tiamat or on Chaos, and made it through, so that's always good. Hopefully you can make it through in one try here in the Temple of Fiends.
Consider shuffling his party for Tiamat, but it looks like he decided otherwise.
That's an interesting decision with the 2 Invis, 2 casters, and the defense sword. He's almost at full evade on that knight right away, so that's a pretty good deal of at least, being able to keep that knight alive through a hit.
Yeah, and Tiamat, at least in my experience, is a little bit less scary than Kraken is, melee-wise. She's just a lot more defensive. Seven hits for 145. Tiamat showing off her armor. Doesn't care. She shrugs off your sword blows.
Yeah, and while Avos is fighting against Tiamat, Kenny has checked all of Mermaid's side and is going back to Kraken's side to try and find if there's another chest in there that yields what he's looking for.
Oh, Tia may have had defense and may have had magic resist, but she did not have HP. Goes down after just a couple of rounds of low damage spells. Oh man, for a second there I thought Avos was going to give us a full victory lap, but it looks like we're going straight into chaos with these Vorpal strats.
And Avos elects to put his Black Mage, or the Black Wizard, right up front for this one. And Bane Sword going first row on the knight. Are we gonna see a Bane attempt on a Chaos here?
I believe that's just a safety net in case everything else goes down and he's still only hitting Chaos for like 50s. He might switch over to that Bane strat.
Yeah, I think you're right after seeing the first round through. One of the things I know I picked up, and it took a little while, was if I'm using that defense sword first, I probably want it first slot, and then you can go to the right if you have a second item that you want to use. It just makes it a little bit quicker in those menus on the battle screen. Kenny does find that Aegis shield on the Sea Shrine floor, so he's got the full set of armor now.
Zap comes out, killing off that red mage, but it looks like we've got enough locks on here that we're at least hitting our full hits, but he's still turned over to that Bane Sword strat. Chat calling for him to swing, knock him out, but no, we want Bane. We want to see Poison Smoke on Chaos. Show us that 3 and 256. Do it. Do it.
4 crits on 7 hits. That's starting to get some damage going there.
Eight hits, 238. Yeah, that'll get him there.
Yeah, Chaos hasn't seemed to do... I don't even want to finish that statement because I don't want to do anything there.
Yeah, let's not curse him yet. There's certainly a few spells out there and a few abilities out there that could turn this very ugly very fast. If Chaos decides to land a slow 2 on that night, yeah, we'll be back to Bane Sword strats.
And it looks like Kenny is out of the Sea Shrine. Hopefully he's going to remember the caravan. Looks like he's heading that way. Oh, he's doing the same. Yep, now he knows what he missed. And it won't matter because Avos takes out Chaos. And that was a really good race from a very new runner. And that's really, really impressive.
Yep, Avos is our winner. GG Avos with an SRL time of 2 hours, 2 minutes, and 47 seconds.
And Kenny has decided to forfeit. I do not fault him at all for that. It's just as he found where the floater was and what he was looking for.
Yeah, we'll see if any of these runners decide to join us for a quick interview, get their feelings on the sea. That was a great race, though, by 2 wonderful runners.
Yeah, it's definitely... I do not necessarily want to go up against either one of them. They both are... You know, Avos is going to learn a lot over the next month and a half of Swiss flags, and Kenny just has a little bit of the randomizer details, and he's got the mechanical proficiency to do really well.
Yeah, short of that one mistake, which any of us could make on a given day, it's certainly something we've all done. He made a really good race out. Welcome, Avos. How was that seed?
Hello. It was all right, actually. It was very white mage friendly.
It was. You were the only one that brought a white mage, so we were happy to have that for you. You did a great job. GG.
Oh, thank you. I got really nervous when I looked at my inventory. I was like, did I throw away my power bonk?
We were discussing that. We thought we saw you pick it up, and then we were looking when you were looking for it later. We said, well, he moved his pro ring around, and then he moved it back onto the knight, and we weren't sure what happened to the power bonk.
Yeah, I think at some point there was another piece of armor that I wanted, and so I was clearing my inventory, and so it was probably next to an iron gauntlet that obviously wasn't very useful. So it probably just got thrown out with the trash.
Yeah, I thought that was a possibility. Also, I need to go back and see, but you may have, when you opened the chest, your inventory was full, and you noticed you had both key items at that point and went to look at your inventory. And I'm not sure if you actually bothered to drop an item and pick it up.
Oh, that's another possibility.
Yeah, I'll have to watch it back and see.
Yeah, the reason I paused there was because I totally forgot about the shop item. I was like, this is that I realized it was the second loose, so I had, for a moment, I was completely lost where the floater could be.
Yeah,
Yep.
That's a really tough, especially, early on. You said you've been doing it for about a month now, and that can trip up even the best runners sometimes when you're like, oh, well, I've found everything else. I don't know where else I can go, and you completely forget about that caravan check.
Yeah. Did Kenny get to Topher before me?
Kenny was actually ahead of you up until C, and unfortunately missed that caravan check.
Oof. That's rough.
Yeah, it's a hard thing. It's heartbreaking. We've all been there, though.
Yeah, definitely. I'd say my most heartbreaking moment was when I accidentally exited out of Chaos once, the Chaos Floor.
I've done that as well. Even with the recent change a while back to give it where you actually have to hit the button an extra time instead of immediately doing on button press. I've lost to the exit boss.
Yeah, that's a demoralizing boss for sure.
Kenny's going to be joining us in just a minute. I think he needed to take a quick breath after that.
Yeah, I get it. I was really worried that I didn't have enough damage, but Bane strats weren't working out, so.
But you got there. That was a good Topher. We saw you using the Bane strats on quite a few things, actually. Both of you baned Carrie, who is actually strong against poison. And so that's a 3 out of 256 for both of you.
Oh, well. Again, at that point, I wasn't confident in my DPS, so I had to sprinkle in some lucky rolls in there.
I think you could be, you could be very scary. If you decide to watch this back and you can kind of see some of the things that you can work on. There's some mechanical things, but really the routing was really good along the way, so I have to give you a lot of credit. You're definitely much further than I was a month in.
I really got to hand it to, the community and all of the resources available. Before I even did my first run, I actually watched a whole bunch of last year's spring tournaments, and so even that just helped me get an idea, and then playing along with people and things like that. It really helped me get very comfortable with where everything was.
Yeah, we noticed you even using encounter manipulation strats in a couple of places already. I know that's something that took me a lot to get the hang.
I was using it, but I don't know that you could say I was using it very well. It sort of became a point of, yeah, I've saved close enough. I'm just going to keep restarting until I get a long enough run.
So at 1-0, do you have any, I don't know if you've seen the other races, but I don't know if you have anyone that you'd like to go up against, maybe take a shot at Greggly Puff, the Duckling boss, and, see if you can show him how to play?
That I don't know about that. I definitely feel like there's still a lot for me to learn, and I think even win or lose, the opposition is going to be pretty tough. So I'm kind of in the situation of I'll go up against whoever I'm matched up against, but I don't know if I'm comfortable against anyone.
And we
Hey,
should
everybody.
So KennyStarr is in here with us. Kenny, how are you feeling after that?
Like I've been like a whipped dog, I guess. No, it wasn't that bad. I felt like I started off really well, and then all those loose items clumped together. I was like, wow, this is great, And then the rod. It's always rod.
Yeah, you had been ahead up until that point. It was a little heartbreaking for all of us when we watched you sail away from on.
When I sailed away from Onrak,
Yeah, when you sailed away from Onrak without headed over there to the Oasis shop.
yeah, yeah, I forgot I can cross over there with the canoe.
We've
I
all done
remembered-
it, and that's what makes it so heartbreaking.
I remembered my second time. I was like, "There's got to be an item for sale. There's got to be an item for sale." And then it dawned on me as I've full cleared Sea Shrine. I was like, "Oh, the Oasis! I can get there. I don't need the airship to get to the Oasis with the canoe and open progression."
We also noticed a bit of slowdown at one point. Have you not unbound your keys for that?
I noticed that too. It's never done that before, so I'm not sure what that was.
Yeah, that was really strange. We weren't sure if your computer was lagging or what that was, but I'm glad it cleared itself.
Yeah, if it didn't clear itself up within the next probably 10 or 15 minutes, I was going to go ahead and forfeit the match because I was like, I can't play like this.
Now, I know Cyrnus mentioned that you've done a lot of vanilla Final Fantasy runs and challenge runs. Have you had a lot of experience with the randomizer, Kenny, or are you pretty new to it? Or
I'm still pretty new to it. I played a few seeds, probably back in January. Just real easy randomizer seeds. Nothing, terrible. I did practice, I think maybe 3 of the tournament seeds just to kind of get a feel for what they were like. So yeah, I'm still pretty new. Lot to remember.
Yeah, the one other reason we ask is because one of the other open progression things is that the river system between Volcano and Ice actually connects on most of our seed.
That's right, it does. It does, yep. Totally forgot about that.
I know you really, I mean, other than a couple of little randomizer related mistakes in there, you really showed off some good mechanics, and quite a few people in chat have said that anyone in the 0-1 group should be, afraid of the matchup against you next week, because you have the mechanics, and that can be the hard thing to learn. You just, the little bit of differences is something that you can pick up, and feel free to, jump in the Discord, check out the Duckling program stuff and the resources and links in there, and there's a lot of different people who will answer any of the questions you have, or check out some of the other races, and I think you'll catch up on a lot of the randomizer stuff real quickly.
Cool, I appreciate it. I appreciate everyone, the whole community. You all are fantastic. Thank you.
All right, let's just grab some final thoughts from our runners. Any final thoughts on the seed, Kenny?
It was definitely challenging. The Wizsahag in Sea Shrine, every time I would hit one of those, I just sit there and stare at it for a minute and kind of laugh. Didn't have any lightning magic to really fight them, and Fire 3 is not very effective, so I decided to go with the Bane strats. I had a Bane sword, so hey, why not?
Yeah, we had seen the red Sahags on the sea and knew that when we got to the sea temple that they were going to certainly put in a little bit of work and make things troublesome for you guys.
And Avos, congratulations on the win. Do you have any final thoughts on that, or anything that you're looking forward to for the next couple of weeks?
I kind of partway through got the feeling that black belt would be really good in that seed, and that might be true of more of the seeds in general, just because the likelihood of finding a good grinding tile is a lot higher when they're randomized. It might not be a bad idea for me to practice more with black belt.
Definitely, if you're interested in that, talk to Gregory Puff, the Duckling boss, and he will be more than happy to walk you through black belt strategies and explain to you, because the trap tiles are randomized. They're not the vanilla trap tiles, so you probably won't find the agamas anywhere for a nice grind, but that 3-eye or 2-eye grind tile is always a nice one to find.
Yeah, definitely. GG, Kenny.
Hey, GG, Avos.
Yeah, good job to both of our runners. You guys both did really well. That was, you put on quite a show, and definitely had to find that caravan shop is a hard one to remember. Please, anyone out there, feel free to follow the runners. Thank you to MG Weirdo for tracking, and Cyrnus for doing comms with me tonight. There will be a lot more Final Fantasy Randomizer action coming. This was, I think, the 5th race of the tournament, so there's 32 more races tonight, one of which is currently going on. It might still be going on Randomania if you want to catch a little bit more Final Fantasy Randomizer, but there will be more coming in the next couple of days, and 37 races for the next 5 weeks after this, so there will be lots and lots of Final Fantasy Randomizer action for the next month or so.
Yes, absolutely. And thank you, Speed Gaming, for being our host tonight. You've always there for us. Thank you very much for playing host to all of our races in this wonderful tournament we are hosting at this time.
And anyone interested in running the Final Fantasy Randomizer, if you haven't, go on over to FinalFantasyRandomizer.com and you can get it set up if you have any trouble, or if you're interested and you want to find out more details. Definitely join the Discord. There's always people in there, and they're always more than happy to help out and teach you the ins and the outs and everything that you can do differently from regular Final Fantasy, and all sorts of resources out there for you.
Y'all have a wonderful night. We look forward to seeing you around in our other races.